With the final days of the year upon us come the potential Oscar favorites, so with thanks to Universal UK and Organic, this is my review of Paul Thomas Anderson's Licorice Pizza. Set in the San Fernando Valley in 1973, we follow a high school student who is also a successful child actor as he navigates LA, first love, and youth in general. Now, before I properly start with my review for Licorice Pizza, I want to know your thoughts on it, on PTA's filmography in general, anything and everything. Just drop it down there in the comments below, because that's the most important part to start the conversation. And if you like movies and TV, this is a place to be, so consider clicking that subscribe button so you don't miss any future conversation on your favorite movies and TV. I'm a huge fan of Paul Thomas Anderson, from There Will Be Blood, which is still his best movie, to The Master, Phantom Thread, and Boogie Nights, of course. I always get into his movies excited, but the trailer for Licorice Pizza honestly didn't do anything for me. So I went into it hopeful given his track record and how I feel about him in general, but hoping to be convinced. And this is one of the best looking and sounding films of the year. The film is shot on film, so from the first shot, I was delighted by what I saw. It is entirely a feast for the eyes. Tons of beautiful tracking shots that I couldn't help but think, if someone screws this take up, it's going to be a pain in the ass to start rolling again because film is so expensive. But every time he did it, I was also impressed. And it's a beautifully immersive experience. You do feel transported back into the 1970s. LA, the warm, bright, vibrant colors, the way people talk and act and walk. It's all such a gorgeous time capsule that also shows the classic tropes of growing up and the attitudes that you take when you're in love and your first love, and you have this guy trying to get on with this girl but he's so young. And the performers that are in this film, Cooper Hoffman, son of the late Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Alana Haim, first time performers, really solid. I really enjoy their performances. Not awards nominated worthy, but good performances nonetheless. They carry this film with chemistry and charm, and the film is quite funny. There are quite a few moments where you laugh. There are quite a few moments where you cringe. There's something that PTA has a certain character doing, played by John Michael Higgins, that I understood what he was going for, but didn't really work. But overall, the film is intentionally quite funny. You even see some familiar faces. There are people in this film who are playing real life people, and maybe albeit exaggerated versions of those real life people, but nevertheless you feel like you're transported back in time. And it's also one of the best, like I said, sounding films of the year. The sound design is quite expertly executed. Just sometimes characters are running around town and they go from less crowded places to very crowded places, and the way the sound comes in and out, beautifully done. There's this story about water mattresses, and the sound on that is also very well done. Just color, imagery, and sound, all great. Just technically speaking, this is a greatly made film. I unfortunately had quite a few issues with the story, and it's not that something is badly done. It's not that there's a ton of holes with the plot and the story. In fact, there's not really a story in here. There's a ton of plot, a lot of events that follow each other in sequence is present, but there's not really a lot going on. The film in general just feels like a bunch of moments in time, like throughout a summer, of characters doing random stuff, and I just didn't care too much about anything. I didn't feel any stakes, I didn't feel any urgency, I didn't feel any tension. I didn't feel like the film was at all, and it never does really, building towards something. I didn't feel like the characters had a goal I was interested in. I was not very interested in the relationship, whether they were going to make it or not. I could take it either way. So despite the chemistry that is there, the charm, and the little laughs that I had, I was just not very invested or compelled by the characters. The second half of the film also didn't help, because It's just too unfocused. While these characters are trying to get together, kind of, they also spend more than half of the film completely apart from one another, each of them doing their own thing, and they're kind of too hot and cold for my taste. These are just not characters I connected with, emotionally speaking. So while an enjoyable watch, Licorice Pizza just feels too scattered for my taste and a little too unmemorable. It's not something that I felt emotionally connect with, or even something that I took a lot away from. While it's technically marvelous and clearly everything that PTA as a director and storyteller was going for, it's just not a story that is geared towards me, and not a story I see myself investing any time purposefully on in the future. Licorice Pizza is technically sound in every conceivable way, and to a degree enjoyable, but as a story, it is unfocused, scattered, and not all that interesting, unfortunately. I'm giving Licorice Pizza a C+. I probably sound harsher than I intend to, because Licorice Pizza is a perfectly enjoyable watch, just not something that is going to stay with me emotionally. I'll maybe put it on in the background while I do something else, but I'm never going to seek watching it again. But those are only my thoughts on Licorice Pizza. I want to know what you thought of it in the comments below. Anything and everything, just drop it down there. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you enjoyed what you saw here, make sure you click that subscribe button so you don't miss any future conversation on your favorite movies and TV. There's a ton of Spider-Man content right now on the channel. There's a spoiler-free review, a spoiler review, and a post-credit scene explained, which also includes spoilers. And tomorrow there will be a Spider-Man movie ranking, so I hope to see you there. Check out the review for Hawkeye Episode 5, for Nightmare Alley, and come back for all those future reviews, including Matrix Resurrections, Sing 2, and more. I hope to see you in those. And so until then, love each other, and love the movies.